Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also tuning in to their online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News and Youth segment here at WYAD, and today we're going to be talking about something that's very important for all of our audience, but especially for those pregnant women, also those who have recently given birth that may be in the workplace. Did you know that roughly 56% of pregnant women work full-time during their pregnancy and 73% return to work within 6 months after giving birth? Because of this, a new federal law has now been established that's taking effect this month that's going to require some extra help for those employees and make sure that they are covered by their employers. Here to talk to us more about that, we're excited to welcome Charlotte A. Burrows to our broadcast. She is the chair for the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. She's going to talk to us not only about what this new law is, but also where you all can go for more information. Charlotte, really appreciate the time today. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
So, Charlotte, first of all, if you don't mind, talk to us about the new law that's taking effect and exactly what it does.
Absolutely. Well, our agency, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which will enforce the new law, is really excited because it fills in some gaps to protect working pregnant workers, and applicants. So what it does is that it requires those employers that have 15 or more employees, so that's any employer with 15 or more employees, and the federal government, state and local government, or the private sector, to provide a reasonable accommodation, so really to work with employees and applicants who have some sort of limitation related to pregnancy, childbirth, or related medical conditions. And the employer has to do that really unless it would pose really what's called an undue hardship for the employer, that is.
And Shirley, this is something I thought was interesting when I was prepping for this because it's things that we don't always think about, right, when it comes to, what should be provided. You would think some of these things would be common sense for the employer to consider, but if you don't mind, give us some examples of what are considered reasonable accommodations.
Sure, because you're right. It's a lot of sort of common sense things. It's basically an accommodation is something that's going to benefit the worker's health and financial well-being by letting them stay on the job and continue to earn a living when their family is growing. So here's some examples that we have seen and that really sort of were helped inspire the reason for the law that employers were not doing. So literally, if you have a job where normally, you might have to stand up, so a cashier or something, a stool, the ability to just sit down and take a break, still doing your job, but just sitting instead of standing. That simple common sense thing is one of the things that employers were not doing before, were not providing, that they now will have to provide unless, and again, I find it hard to believe this would be the case, but unless it's an undue hardship. So sitting down, the ability to drink water or have a water bottle, to have maybe a closer parking space, break time, to maybe go to the bathroom or eat or take rest, flexible hours so you can get to the doctor on time, a uniform that fits, because we all know that what fits at the beginning of the pregnancy may not fit in, the last trimester, and time off to recover from childbirth.
And Charlotte, as our audience is thinking about this, and we've heard so much, especially over the past year or so, about employers wanting employees back in the office. I mean, are these things that you're finding that employers are willing to be able to make sure that they are providing to make sure they don't lose valuable employees?
Well, I think that the best answer for that is that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce supported this new law as it was going through the Congress. And I think that employers have now realized on a broader basis that this is in their interest as well as in the interest, frankly, of society and the economy to keep these workers on the job and, and to work with them in these times when they can still be really productive. So I think yes, but there were obviously, otherwise you wouldn't have needed the law in the first place, some employers that had not been doing that. And so the exciting thing is this is going to hopefully change the mindset.
Love that. So with this particular law going into effect this year, are there other federal laws that also apply to pregnant workers and new parents as well, Charlotte?
Yes, and the laws all work together to provide protection. So the Civil Rights Act of 1964, as well as the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, already included pregnancy as one of the bases as part of sex discrimination on which you could not be fired or harassed or denied a promotion, that kind of thing. In addition, the Americans with Disabilities Act, if you had a pregnancy-related disability, would also protect already. But a lot of times the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act is needed because, you have something that you need help with. Maybe you can't lift a heavy package, but that's not really a disability when it's just because, you're in a particular stage in your pregnancy. So those laws are on the books now, and also exciting new one is called the PUMP Act, providing urgent maternal protections for nursing mothers. The Department of Labor will be enforcing that one, but it basically says employers have to allow employees who are breastfeeding to find a private space, to have a safe private space to do that's appropriate. And a lot of times that's something that a woman might not want to raise with her employer. It might be very uncomfortable to have the law there and require it so that there's already going to be a place set up that employers, that law has already taken effect. Employers are already hopefully geared up and ready to go so that it's not as sort of embarrassing and difficult a back and forth that has to happen when a worker asks for that as well. And, of course, the Family Medical Leave Act provides unpaid job protected leave for family and medical reasons in certain circumstances.
Well, it's great information, and it's great, I know, for those pregnant women out there or those who have recently given birth to know that protection will be there available for them. Again, everyone, Charlotte A. Burrows has been our guest. She's the chair for the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, talking with us not only about, of course, this new law, but also what it's going to do and its impact. Charlotte, where can our audience go for more information?
Absolutely. So glad you asked. Our website is EEOC.gov. That's EEOC.gov, and we have included there really some very straightforward information both for employers, particularly small employers that may not have a huge legal department to be looking this step up for them, but also workers to understand how they avail themselves of these rights. So that's EEOC.gov. Our toll-free number is 800-669-4000. And listeners can follow EEOC's social media page at USEEOC. That's at USEEOC.
All right. We'll make sure that we tag that as well for our podcast audience. Charlotte, really appreciate the time today. Really appreciate the information. Looking forward to speaking with you again.
Been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
More than welcome. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.